Today I'd like to talk basically about a doll, rather harmless looking Raggedy Ann type doll. The doll was named Annabelle. Many times, most of the forms that we see, these strange things, they're ugly, they're horrible, they're repulsive, they're monstrous. They're the kind of thing you wouldn't want to get close to, the kind of thing you wish you could forget that you've seen. But what about the ultimate evil? The ultimate evil that's so cunning, so cruel, that decides to become or attach itself to something lovable, something that people would be attracted to. To me, that's a very cruel, evil entity that would do that. And they've done that. An entity that's attached itself to a doll. It's the Annabelle doll, 1970. The thoughts are that this doll is supposedly inhabited by a spirit of a dead girl, or perhaps even the spirit of something more demonic, something that was never human. Whatever it was, it's truly powerful. The doll was blamed for demonic possessions, a slew of violent attacks, 2 near-death experiences connected with it. The doll ended up with 2 psychic hunters, very famous Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now they have it in their Occult Museum. This doll in their museum is in a glass case. Now this glass case is a warning. It says, warning, positively do not open. The story of this doll goes that the first doll, this adorable Raggedy Ann type doll, was given to a young nurse. The nurse was absolutely thrilled with the gift and brought it back to her apartment, which she shared with another young nurse. Now, at first, this doll was absolutely adorable. This doll would sit on the sofa in the living room, greeting visitors with this quite colorful, beautiful, innocent-looking doll. Pretty soon, they began to notice that Annabelle seemed to move about the room on her own. One woman would sit the doll on the living room sofa before leaving for work. She'd come home in the afternoon, and they would find the doll in the bedroom with the door shut. Now, things began to escalate, but they've been finding short notes that were left throughout the apartment. One of the notes read, "Help me." Notes were written on parchment paper, which they didn't even keep in their home. Now, the Warrens investigated this doll, and they determined that the doll was being affected by a very devious, nasty entity. Now, the entity did not want to possess the doll. The entity's idea was to manipulate the doll, get close to people, and eventually possess a human. Now, supposedly when the Warrens picked this doll up, they had a long drive home. They decided they would take back roads instead of highways because they figured it might be a rough journey. And truly it was. Several times during the trip home, they had to sprinkle this doll with holy water to quiet this doll down. There was even a case of an individual that went into the museum. The doll was placed in a display case with warnings not to open the door or harass the doll in any way. Do not speak to it. Do not ask it any questions, things like that. Unfortunately, there was a individual in there, a motorcyclist, who confronted the doll. He didn't open the cage, but he verbally harassed the doll, actually dared the doll to do things to him. The man was asked to leave the museum for his own good. He left the museum. He never completed his trip home. The man died of an accident along the route home, very shortly after confronting that doll. A coincidence? Just keep in mind that when you're dealing with things of a paranormal nature, you're dealing with energy. You're dealing with energy, raw, pure energy. Energy that knows no limits. Energy capable of moving around at its own will, going up, down, around, in and out of buildings, even capable of following you home. And in the future, I'm going to be doing things on various subjects, from Bigfoot to Mothman. The dead children's playground. Strange place during late night hours. The swings move by themselves. Rather interesting area. And there's an area in Alaska, Kushtaka, where there are shape-shifting creatures. And there's a dog boy, which is a werewolf-like ghost that walks on all fours and haunts his childhood home. California, there's a place, Dark Watchers. It features there very dark silhouettes. Silhouettes that look like they have brimmed hats, or perhaps they're walking on sticks. They've been known to stare down travelers late at night and right before dawn. One thing important, if you should be in this area of California, check out these Dark Watchers. One thing, they should not be addressed or acknowledged. Do not lock eyes. Do not dare them. Do not try and scare them away. If you observe them very stealthily. Anyway, there's a lot of other things I hope to be getting videos done on. Thank you all very much for listening and watching the video. I appreciate it very much. Come on and please like, subscribe, share, feel free to leave a comment. Thank you again. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.